Okay, so last week we talked about thumbnail sketches. I'm having to put a little shadow over this so you guys can see it properly. I don't know why. Everything is blocking. There we go. So we took notes. Thumbnail sketches, small, quick, purposed. Visual note taking can be mixed media, pencil, pen, watercolor. This is just our practice one. Problem solving, experimenting, and then you can always add color and techniques to it later. So these are warm up, exploration, practice. Now, I want you to think about your topic, your concentration, what it's all about. For Anna, it's about the life of graffiti. For Mauricio, his is based on interesting transformational makeup transformation experience and what that's like, and he has essential questions based on transformation. So he's going to think about this, and he's going to think about what can I draw that's going to be a dynamic, that's very important, a dynamic sketch. So I'm going to write here dynamic sketches, because we don't want boring dead center sketches, right? We want them to be interesting compositions. So I've had you guys do a whole presentation on dynamic photography to help you understand what these different points of view look like, different compositions. We learned all about compositions last week. So for today, your warm up is to do some sketching based on the story you want to tell for the entire year. You're going to continue sketching, continue sketching. Some things you're going to like, some things you're not going to like, and you can apply and add more and more sketches. But this is just for today to get you started. I want you to think about your essential questions and the topic and the different scenarios, just like that music video. You can do some research online if you don't know how to draw something particularly. Just do some research and get some reference images instead of faking it. Because when you draw something in your head and you're not sure the proportions and how things look, then it's going to look distorted and you're not going to draw it as well. When you have a reference to look at, it's going to be more precise and correct. And I can look at those images with you and we could discuss if something's not so great, and then we can resketch it and then make improvements. So for today, for these 4 squares, these are tiny little squares. You're just going to do basic little drawings of these different types of compositions. Okay? And that is going to be photographed, and you're going to submit that as proof of practice today. While you're doing that right now, I'm working on the agenda second period, and I want you guys to understand that the presentations that you created last week, now you're going to start photographing based on your topics, and you're going to stage images zoomed in, interesting angles, bird's eye, mouse eye, and you're going to try to figure out ways to make those photographs go with your theme. So I want you to start thinking about that. You can even do photographs now and use those towards your sketches here. Does anybody have any questions? I will put the directions for what the second slide shows, what's expected, and then I'll put the due date on the agenda. I'm going to give you plenty of class time the rest of the period for you to work on this. Don't stress. This is supposed to be an exercise, okay? I'm going to go ahead and minimize this, and I'm going to write down what I would like for you to do here while you all are working. So, create 4 composition thumbnail compositions. So the first one is zoomed in sketch. I should put based on your theme. Based on your topic. So that's really important. On the second one is interesting angles. And that's your point of view. Then we're going to have a discussion about it. Mouse, eye, view. Number 4, birds. If you don't like something, draw it again. Draw it again. You have to do at least 4. Okay, so I'm going to take a photograph of this and I'm going to post this on the agenda. I'm going to actually do some sketches of my own. I have to think about a topic first. What would my topic be? I'm going to do relationships. So I'm going to draw a picture based on a photograph of my husband and I. Zoomed in. It's not perfect. Just trying to get something on there. And I'm thinking about the composition. I could have put both of us dead center, but I decided to shift us to the right. This is us on our wedding day. And I'm referencing an image that makes me think of relationships. There's different kinds of relationships that I have in my life. So I'm not doing this from a figment of my imagination. I'm kind of looking at references to draw them nicely as best as I can, but they're not like perfect, detailed masterpieces. Sophia. Hello? Okay, maybe she's not here. I'll mark her absent.
I'm here. I just posted in the chat.
Okay, well, we're working on labeling our 4 different sketches from Friday. And these are going to be based on these specific details here. And then you're going to do 4 different compositions based on your topic. So I chose, my topic is relationships. And so I'm looking at somewhat a reference of a wedding picture of me and my husband. I'm going to be doing my whole concentration based on different relationships in my life. Now I'm not doing a whole lot of details, but this one's my zoomed in, and I talked about how I didn't want it dead center. I kind of moved it slightly off centered, and it's just a concept about one of my relationships in life. So it's not amazing or anything like that, but it gives an idea of one idea, and it's a thumbnail sketch. So this is what we're working on. You're going to be taking a photograph of this, and it's going to be proof of practice today. So then I'm going to think about another relationship in my life. And so maybe interesting angles. I don't know what I have that I can think about. We're also talking about how you're going to be taking photographs of different compositions, just like you did with your other slideshow. I'm using photographs that I've taken over the years. And so now I'm going to do one, the relationship of an interesting angle. My dog is licking my son in one image, and I really love it because the dog is all distorted and just takes up part of the scene, and the dog is just going crazy on my son, my foster son. Look in his face. So I think it's kind of an interesting angle that I'm holding my other chihuahua on top of his head. I use a lot of photographs to reference and draw proper proportions. I think of basic shapes like, oh, my dog's skull is shaped like this. Unfortunately, his ears go off the page. You never want to shrink down the proportions because of it doesn't fit in square. Now you can change these kinds of sketches. They could be rectangles, vertical, horizontal, later, whatever you think is best for your art piece. There's going to be a big contest, the Congressional Art Show, and they always choose heritage, like culture, your family, your history, your family's history, art pieces. So think about that as one of your pieces and somehow tie it to your concentration because the first place is $550. Yesenia won first place last year. And I'd love for us to win again. Sophia, do you have any questions? Okay. So we're all drawing. Dog is just licking his face, getting crazy. I apologize for all the noises outside of my house. Okay, there's my next sketch. So I'm not going to do all of these for you because I have other things I need to do. I'm going to go ahead and post this on the agenda and take a picture of this so you get some ideas based on your concentration. Turn it in by the end of the period.